Well, welcome again. I am Daisy Shotwell, your prophetic life coach. Welcome again to the Identity and Purpose course. This is day 9, class 9. I'm glad you made it back again. Now, if you haven't seen the introduction and the previous days, then you should do that. You can find that right here on Daisy Shotwell Global, as well as the YouTube channel, a Daisy Shoutwell. You want to do that because it will make so much sense. Well, these are short and sweet. Well, today we are coming forth with day 9. And remember the books that we're using, of course, we're getting biblical principles from the Bible. And also, we are using these books, Love is a Choice. And this is by Doctors Himfeld, Mernert, and Meyer. You can get this at your local bookstore, as well as you can get this at your library as well. And this is Love is a Choice, and by the same author. And you can get these, as I said, at your local bookstore. So let's go right into it. Last time we looked at the fifth trait of a codependent. So let's go to the page, and we're coming out of the book for this on page 23. So on page 23, let's talk about, let me review. I always like to review the traits, the 10 traits of a codependent. Now, I don't have time. And today is not the day to talk about what is a codependent. So if you're seeing this for the first time, you most definitely need to go back to day 1 and to see all of that. Now, before I do that, let me tell you what's happening. This is a free course, and I invite you to be with me the entire year. We started in February, I believe it was the second Monday in February, and every Monday right here at 8 o'clock p.m. for about 10, 15, 20 minutes. I want you to give me your time, and I believe that you will be transformed. And what we're doing is we are forming identity, and we're bringing forth soul prosperity in order for you to be able to see and discover and know your purpose and give God opportunity to bring your destiny into fruition. So we're working from the inside out. That is correct. And if you are wanting to have some one-on-one to really go faster in your journey, and then to help me as a prophet to identify this and give you prophetic coaching, I welcome that as well. And you may go to Linktree, which is the https:// Prophet Daisy Shotwell, and you want to sign up there, contact me and ask for a complimentary. Your first session is complimentary as I look and let you know what the program is all about, as I specialize it for each and every person. And then if you want to get the certificate at the end of this completion, is on honor system. If you said you completed and listened to it and did all the homework, I'm trusting you, because that will be between you and God. Now, if you do that and let me know you've done that at the end of the course, that's right, February 2024, then you will get a certificate of completion, and who knows what else will be available for you at that time. And so there you go. And now let's go straight to reviewing the 10 traits of a codependent. We're going to read the first 5, and I'm going to reintroduce to you number 6 today, because at our beginning courses, we went through all of these, just naming them. And now we're breaking down these individual ones so you can do some homework and get to feel what it is about. And then we'll even go even more into each one of these traits so you can see how they're working in real life and in the real world. So, the 10 traits of a codependent. Number 1, the codependent is driven by one or more compulsions. Number 2, the codependent is bound and often tormented by the way things were in the dysfunctional family of origin. Third, the codependent's self esteem and frequently maturity is very low. Number 4, a codependent is certain his or her happiness hinges on others. Now, this should be starred, because I think this is the one that really, really gets the codependents out of whack, I guess you could say. And number 5, conversely, a codependent feels inordinately responsible for others. Well, I checked that one too. Actually, all of them. That's why they're in the book. Today, we're going to deal with number 6. Listen, the codependent's relationship with a spouse or a significant other person. This could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a fiance. Guess what? Even a coworker, colleague, even a sibling, or any kind of relationship, friendship situation. It is marred by a damaging, unstable lack of balance between dependence and independence. Now, I want to give a little more about that to give you an idea of what I'm talking about to bring it home even more. So now let's move to my notes so I can stay on track to not be long, as I can be very winded. Okay, so listen, God created us to be dependent and independent. This is true. We are to be dependent on, as a baby, we are dependent on our parents, particularly our mom, as the caregiver, to provide for us food. We're dependent on our father and our mom, but primarily the father to be the provider, to give us shelter, to give us clothing, and for the mom to go and shop and to do that, right? And as an infant, you're depending on your mom to be able to feed you and give you the milk, amen, and other nourishing food. And really, we are dependent as children, as infant, as children, teenagers, young adults, maybe even also later on as well, I would say, to give us the kind of relational connection, affirmation, to let us know that we are special, no matter what others are saying outside of our familiar relationship with our family, with our close friend, with our spouse. They are looking on us to affirm us. And this is a healthy thing. It should be like this. However, God has also made inside each and every one of us to have a dependency upon us, or really, it's a dependency upon God. But before we know God, He made it in us so that we can have self sufficiency, so that we don't totally depend on any individual. Now, as we look at the spiritual component, we know that God does want us to have total dependence on Him. Now, this is a healthy thing because this separates the soul from the spirit person. Okay, so the spirit person should be totally dependent on God, and your soulish person, we have to have a balance between others in our life and ourselves. So, what I mean is, we cannot give our lives, our soul, our emotions, our heart, our mind totally, completely to anyone. And that includes, guess what? Your spouse. You're going to learn more about this in just a moment. So, it is natural for us to desire companionship with God and others, but healthy relationships leave us balanced. And that's what it's all about, balancing the scales. You should not be overly scaled on your independent side where nobody can tell you anything and nobody can help you. And I don't need anybody. I'll take care of life myself. That's totally not healthy. And definitely, you don't want to be like a sponge, totally dependent on others, that you can't think for yourself, you can't do for them yourselves, that you're like, what is it, like a puppet on a string. No, that's totally unhealthy as well. Now, codependents live extreme in their relationships. They're either extremely independent, I don't need anyone, I'll do life myself, or extremely dependent. Oh, what can I do without you? I must have you. I got to have you or I'll die. As a matter of fact, I think this is a quote in here in just a moment. So this is very unhealthy. If you think, act, or say things with words like these, I just said it already. I can't live without you. Totally unhealthy. Yes, you can. You can live without anything and anybody except for the natural things. For Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we know we must have food, clothing, and shelter to survive. Now, we might not get everything else, and we might be a little bit lopsided and missing a lot of things that we need emotionally, mentally, intellectually, relationally, but we will be surviving. We'll be living. Amen. We'll be that living being that God calls us to be if we have the necessities of life, and that is food, water, which is I consider to be food part, and a shelter. We need this. If we don't have this, I mean, these are the basic needs. We can't even begin to build and consider anything else. That's why you think about someone that's homeless and you're talking about things that are not related to food, clothing, and shelter. They're not hearing that because each and every day they're worrying and concerning, where would I get my next meal? Where am I going to put my head tonight? We're taking it for granted, but these people in this, they're not caring about, and I'll say this even, and I definitely get this. They're really not caring about your praying to receive Jesus Christ or to receive some kind of religious experience. Not into that. They're thinking about, well, your religious experience is good, but right now I'm hungry. Okay. Well, let me stay focused on my audience here. Number two, you should not be saying, I can't make it on my own without you or anyone else. You shouldn't tell anybody, if I don't have you in my life, what am I going to do? I can't make it. Wow, that sounds like a fatal attraction. Remember that? So the visual that came to my mind as I was thinking about this would be like someone sharing an oxygen tank with another person. Neither one of them will be able to enjoy freely, to breathe freely, because the other person is taking up their oxygen. They don't have enough, or the breath that they need for themselves. So there's totally always needing each other to breathe, to help them breathe. Totally not healthy. What they do need is each of one of them need their individual oxygen tank. Okay. Now I just had another visual that they could be sharing the air source wherever the air is coming from. The oxygen is coming from a major source. And that often happens probably if you're in a hospital bed with someone, they might have both of you all coming from the same oxygen machine. I don't know how that works, but yet there's only one particular one that's connected, that you're getting your own flow and they're getting their own flow. And this is the way it should be. And you can think of God as the primary oxygen giver. Amen. When we look at a healthy way of living and a healthy way of life, we are independent yet dependent on Him. Okay, guess what? It's time to talk about your homework. Remember, you can journal this, whether digital journaling or paper and pad, which is the way I like it the best. Or if you don't want to do writing, you're not into writing, guess what? I told you, you can record that as well on your phone and listen to yourself as we go through all of these days and months to be able to see how you've grown. Because I know if you stick with me, you will grow and you'll see transformation in your life. You might say, well, I'm already there. I don't need this. Well, there's something there that tells me you might, because of that attitude. Because usually if you're healthy and whole, you might say something like, wow, never thought about that. Let me listen to that and see if there are any areas that I can find improvement. This is a whole healthy person, open to see, is it anything else in me that I can become better? Otherwise, the spirit of pride operates when it says, I've already been there. That's not for me. Even if you have a title, even if you have, an executive over a company, no matter what your title is, people are hurting no matter what. If the soul is hurting, it doesn't have any distinguishing between a position, a title, your income bracket, your gender, or what have you, your ethnicity, or what have you. The soul hurts and it needs to be healed. So here's your homework. Do you find yourself feeling like a yo-yo? What is a yo-yo on a string? It goes up and down, not stable. You're high one day, you're low another day. High and low, bouncing back and forth between independence and dependence with others. That's instability. That's not whole. That's not healthy. I've been there. Okay. How? For example, a person asks their parents to help on their mortgage. Okay. This is extreme dependence because they're an adult and they're asking their parents to help on their mortgage. Extreme dependence. And then they get angry. Probably they told them, I'm not going to help you. You need to fend for yourself because I've been helping you for 5 years now on this mortgage and you never seem to have it. Wow. And so they get angry and they won't speak to the parents for 3 months. extreme independence. Why? It's kind of like a baby crying because you didn't get your way. I'm going to go have a temper tantrum. So totally not healthy. Not healthy. A healthy response would be, you know, you are right. I'm an adult. I've been doing this for 5 years. It's time for me to get my act together. Or if you're in a extreme situation where you're having a lot of financial situations, I get that. Been there. You can say, you are correct. I am just having such a financial challenge. I'm already working 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and I still cannot make things balance. I understand if you're not able to help me, or if you feel that I've been clinging on too long. I get that. I understand. No love lost. And so, hey, why don't we go? I'll call you next weekend, mom, dad, and check on you. Thanks. I definitely get that. I understand. That's healthy. Okay. That's healthy. Now, here's what I want you to do. Number 3, write down or record any very dependent behaviors in yourself as you sit in silent meditation. Now, once again, you can write these or speak them. And I want you to think about details, details, details. Think about the people that are involved, including yourself, of course. You will be one of the ones involved. And also specific situations. Now, I want you to do the same for very independent behaviors. So you're looking at the very dependent behaviors, and you're going to look at the very independent behaviors. Well, you had homework last week, didn't you? Did you do it? Of course, I'm not taking it, but you, because why? I'm not going to be your enabler. I'm a whole person. I'm not going to become responsible for you because I'm teaching you to become responsible for yourself. And so you're going to have to do self-checking to see if you missed it. Okay, I'm going to tell you, if you missed it, guess what you'll have to do? You're going to have to make up last week and this week as soon as possible so you don't get behind. All right, that is all that we have for today. I want to thank you for coming to the Identity and Purpose course. And this is day 9, class 9. Once again, if you'd like to get an independent prophetic life coaching sessions, then give me a call on the, well, I guess you could say a call. We're going to do a digital call. Go to Linktree /Prophet Daisy Shotwell. Connect with me, and I'll give you an initial consultation. I'll let you know what you can be in store for. Until then, this is Daisy Shotwell, prophetic life coach, with the free Identity and Purpose course for 1 year until February 2024, day 9. All right, I'll see you next week. Take care. Goodbye now.